What accompanied Paul's teaching? The power to raise the dead. And actually, if you look at this passage in context, if you look at chapter 19, chapter 20, chapter 21, the reason why Luke throws this one in here is because he wants to remind the people that Paul, what he's saying, there's a power, there's a supernatural power behind it. He's gone through all this traveling, and actually people are starting to ask the question: is Paul for real? And then Luke uses this story to say, yeah, Paul's for real because look at what happens when he preaches. And this is what drives him. This later on, this is what carries him into Rome later. Okay. See, everything has a turning point. Every story has a turning point. It's not just the Bible. Anything, your novels, movies. The thing that, ever since I started learning this stuff, my wife hates it when I go to the movies with her. Because after the movies, I ask her, what do you think was the main idea? In fact, now she beats me to the punch, right? Every time we walk out of the movie now, she turns to me, what was the main idea? I got you. Right? Because every story has a message. Every story is trying to convey some kind of main idea. The question is, what are they trying to get at? Rarely does a story not have a main idea. Some Simpsons episodes don't have main ideas, right? Jackass the movie does not really have a main idea other than don't do this, right? But every single story, okay? The last two DVDs I watched was Transformers and Shrek 3. Both of those have main ideas. How many of you have seen Shrek 3? Just curious. What do you think was the main idea in that movie?
Protect your family, no matter what, and don't be scared.
Sorry?
Protect your family and don't be scared.
Okay. Who else saw that movie? Agree? Disagree?
I agreed, right? But to me, it was just mostly like, no matter how scary you are, you can still be your father. But that's what I got out of it.
Okay. All right. There's one scene in there that's a turning point in Shrek 3.
Is it one of the Cyclops guys is like, I don't know how a guy like me could have a beautiful daughter like you? Is that the turning point?
Well, that leads into it. That leads into it. Shrek 3, turning point. When the whole, when what's his face? Prince Charming has Shrek chained up, about to go through this whole play thing. Then all the princesses come in and kick butt and blah blah blah. And they said they're all surrounded. No. And then later on, you see Arthur, right? He comes on from the top, comes down to the stage, and he says this, right? He says to them, do you really want to do this to the villains, right? He says, do you really want to do this fight? Do you actually want to fight? And Captain Hook says to him and says, that this is all we've known. We're always the villains. And then he says the same thing that Shrek says to him earlier. He says, just because people see you that way doesn't mean that's who you are. It's whoever you discover yourself to be, that's who you pursue to be. So in other words, don't let other people tell you who you are. You've got to discover it. Right? There's the message in Shrek 3. In fact, in Shrek 2, there's a message. Shrek 1, there's a message. Right? Every single story, okay? Transformers. Just because I'm using movies that I've seen.